Habari gani wana Ubuntu wenzangu. Jina langu ni Mwalimu Nduku. Hello, my fellow wana Ubuntu, children of Ubuntu. My name is Teacher Nduku. Mwalimu is teacher. This is Methali ya Siku, a series held by Kumbukeni on our Patreon account to our Patreon members. This is available to all tiers. And essentially, Methali ya Siku is Proverb of the Day. Today's Methali, today is November 16th, 2025. And today's Methali is Vita havina macho. Vita havina macho. Vita havina macho. War has no eyes. Maana yake, what is the meaning? Vita havioni, kwani vyaweza kumtesa yeyote. War does not see because it can hurt anyone. And that is, flip it around, because war can hurt anyone, it cannot see. We have established that war cannot see because we've seen it hurt anyone. This is what this is saying. Let me take this off. My apologies there. Thank you. It literally means that when war begins, it does not distinguish between the innocent and the guilty. It destroys everything in its path, bringing suffering even to those who had no part in causing it. Matumizi, how do we use this proverb? Methali hii inatujuza kuwa vita vinapotokea havichagui. Huweza kudhurika aliyekuwemo na asiyekuwemo, vilivyomhusu na visivyomhusu. Kwa hivyo, tunanasihiwa tuepukane na vita. This proverb tells us that when war breaks out, it does not discriminate. It can harm those who are in it, who are there, who are present, and those who are not. Those who are concerned and those who are not. Therefore, we are urged by this proverb to avoid war. This proverb teaches that conflict, once unleashed, becomes a blind force. It knows no justice, no boundaries, and no mercy. It reminds us that the consequences of violence often go beyond the intentions of those who start it, spreading pain, loss, and destruction to all. It is a call to wisdom, restraint, and unity, warning that when harmony within a community or nation is broken, everyone suffers. So let's look, as we always do on Kumbukeni, let's look at the proverb in a deeper context as far as our history, our contemporary times, our current times, and our future generations. As far as the blindness of colonial and neo-colonial wars against Africa, right? Just the blindness of war in general. For centuries, Africa, nchi ya Ubuntu, has endured wars, both physical and psychological, that were not of her making. The colonial invasion was a war without eyes. It did not see the innocence of the people, the beauty of their civilizations, or the peace of their societies. And even if it did not see with the deeper eyes of humanity. It ignored it. It destroyed kingdoms, uprooted spiritual systems, and dehumanized entire populations in the name of civilization. And we're talking civilization, right? In the same way, the current neo-colonial systems, economic domination, foreign military bases, and debt dependency are modern forms of blind warfare. They crush both the poor and the rich, even when the rich do not see it, the informed and the uninformed, leaving no one truly free. So you can't say, and what the lesson here is telling us, you can't say, this does not concern me, because the proverb is telling you it concerns you. And it will get to you, whether you know it or not, it will get to you. As far as the internal wars among us, among our people, today Africa faces internal wars, tribal, political, and ideological. They are equally blind. These are not wars of liberation, but wars of division, often manipulated by foreign powers who benefit when Africans want Ubuntu destroy each other. But I must say, that is not to say that we are not to blame. That is not to say that we don't take responsibility for our part in it. The proverb warns us, Vita havina macho. Once conflict begins, it no longer serves justice or liberation. It turns brother against brother, sister against sister, and tears down the house of wana Ubuntu, nchi ya Ubuntu, from within. The children, the elderly, and even the innocent suffer because of the blindness of leaders who choose conflict over dialogue. The war against the African mind. So now we're talking about war beyond the physical sense of it. Beyond physical wars, there was a war against, there still is a war against the Ubuntu consciousness, the African consciousness, a mental, cultural, and spiritual war. Western education, foreign religions, and alien systems of governance have blinded many Africans from seeing their true selves. This mental war is also without eyes. It spares no one. Even the educated, the religious, or the wealthy can become victims when they adopt anti-African ways of thinking that alienate them from their own people. And this is very true, this type of war. The proverb reminds us that the greatest war today is internal, the war within the African mind between the inherited colonizer's mentality and the ancestral African wisdom that calls for unity, dignity, and self-determination. As far as the need for African unity, KiUbuntu unity and vigilance, the proverb also teaches caution. When we allow division and self-ambition to rule us, we invite blind destruction. Africa must learn from the chaos that follows disunity. Instead of fighting amongst ourselves, we must fight ignorance, dependency, and corruption. True KiUbuntu unity, true Ubuntu unity, true African unity, grounded in umoja, utu, and uhuru, unity, humanity, and freedom, is the only defense against blind wars. When Ubuntu stand as one body, they can direct their energy toward reconstruction and protection of their people rather than toward destruction. As far as rebuilding peace through Afrocentric systems of governance and education, traditional African societies valued consensus, council, and communal decision-making as tools of peace. They did not avoid uncomfortable conversations or issues. Elders were mediators, not tyrants. The proverb aligns with these indigenous principles, reminding us that peacekeeping and diplomacy are not weakness. They are strength rooted in wisdom. But we also have to be wise when we pick peacekeeping and diplomacy. We have to be wise about who we are keeping peace with and who we're being diplomatic with, how they move, who they are essentially and innately. Are they capable of peace? Are they capable of diplomacy? Or is it just an outward appearance and that's not their intention? So that's another thing we need to be cautious about. An Afrocentric education must therefore teach the philosophy of peace as an active process, not the absence of war, please, not the absence of war, but the presence of justice, self-respect, and spiritual balance. There may need to be the presence of war or combat or defending your community if your community is threatened. Africans, Ubuntu, must learn that to destroy one's brother is to destroy oneself, because vita havina macho, war has no eyes. The flames do not choose whom they consume. They burn everything in their path. As far as having a call to heal Africans' wounds, this proverb, from the Congo to Sudan, from Libya to Somalia, the proverb speaks painfully to the reality that Africa has been turned into a battlefield for others' interests. The suffering of displaced families, orphaned children, and destroyed communities are the real faces of this truth. War has no eyes. But the proverb also offers guidance. It tells us that peace must be protected before conflict arises, for once war begins, even the innocent will cry. The African must therefore guard peace as a sacred duty, not as a foreign policy objective. You see that? You're not looking at it from the outward, but from the inside. To conclude, Vita Havina Macho is not only a warning, it is a reflection of Africa's past and present struggles. It calls upon Africans to open their spiritual and intellectual eyes before engaging in conflict. The proverb teaches that the true warrior is not the one who destroys, but the one who protects life, justice, and harmony. To heal Africa, we must end the blind wars, both the visible wars of violence and the invisible wars of the mind. Only through unity, self-awareness, and an Afrocentric understanding of peace can Africa rise again and ensure that her children never suffer under the blindness of war. And I'm trying to think about this, like how we can do this. How can we do this as Africans? Because we will need to protect ourselves. Like, let's not be confused about what world we live in today. But if we focus on defending your home, you're not going outside your home to go attack, because that's when now you start involving children and stuff. But when we come to there's an enemy at your doors and you're defending your home, then there's a reason to pick arms. And then you have to figure out how you're going to protect your own children while you defend your home. The problem today is people go out seeking other people's home, to occupy other people's home, and they take the war to them. And that's how they're killing women and children and all that. That's how war is so indiscriminate, because these are people getting, without the threat, with no one threatening them, just because of greed, because of wanting power and access, they go out and start wars. That's the problem today. That's the lesson today that this proverb gives us. Vita havina macho. So Asanteni, I look forward to our continued lessons, KiUbuntu, KiSwahili. For those of you who are interested in learning KiUbuntu, again, you can join us at patreon.com/Kumbukeni. The tiers range from $9 to $50 a month, and the different services for each of those tiers. And starting December, we're going to have tiers for children based on family sizes and all. Asanteni, be well, Kila, heri. Peace.